Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch.
Super Bowl.
Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome back to Sisters Who Watch.
Hello, I'm Shelby.
And I'm Laura, and we're sisters who watch everything TV, movie, sports, concerts, and even the Super Bowl. Woo woo. Girls who
Or
like sports.
Bad Bunny Bowl. Benito Bowl.
Right, the Bad Bunny Bowl for real. Yes. And before we get into our review of the Bad Bunny Bowl, please make sure you're giving Sisters Who Watch 5 stars. 5 stars wherever you listen. Rate, download, subscribe. We really, really appreciate all the love and support. And follow us at Sisters Who Watch on all social media platforms. Okay, Shelby, let's get into it. Can you give us a little background context for the Super Bowl?
Yes, this was Super Bowl 60. 60th Super Bowl ever, people. Super Bowl 60 aired on NBC and was between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. For a bit of background on how those teams got there, a lot of people were probably surprised, unless you were the Seahawks fan base. To be fair, the Seahawks had been one of the better teams all season, but the problem with playing in Seattle, not a lot of people saw them. So I, for one, it wasn't until I think the second to last game of the season, they destroyed the Niners, was I like, oh, this is a good team. They're the team to beat in the NFC. That was when I figured it out. And so a lot of people, it wasn't until the playoffs, when they're like, oh, these Seahawks. So I had a feeling they'd probably make it to the Super Bowl, but they surprised a lot of people, particularly because Sam Darnold is their quarterback. Journeyman Sam Darnold, former New York Jet Sam Darnold. It's just crazy to see his evolution. We're Jets fans, so I just think it's amazing how everyone leaves the Jets and becomes better. It's like,
Yeah,
just
it's
shows how bad the Jets franchise is.
It really is. And I feel like this season, Shelby, I feel like usually we're really, I'm usually a bit more plugged into the NFL. I know you're quite plugged in. How would you compare like this season generally to seasons in the past? I feel like less people were talking about the NFL. That's kind of how I felt.
I don't know if I'd say that. I think this season it was confusing as who was the top team. And so I think people were talking about it because there were some really good games. Like, I literally got NFL Plus because like some of these games are really good. So like I was watching and tapped in, but it was also like, wait, there's a lot of parity. Who's gonna come out on top? So I think that's what led to like maybe less conversation or confusion. It was like, wait, who's the best team? And then you had you had a turning of the tide. Like a lot of the players and teams that like we had thought about, like the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, the Ravens, either didn't make the playoffs or got bounced in the early rounds. So there was a shift. Like typically it's the Chiefs at the top of the AFC. It then became the Broncos. Everyone's like, the Broncos with Bo Nix? Like there was a shift happening where, you know, teams that had been kind of at the bottom or up and coming,
Right.
all of a sudden were ascending. Like the Broncos, the Patriots, the Texans, the Jaguars. And that was a combination of like new coaches. Like Mike Vrabel came to the Patriots and Liam Cohen came to the Jaguars. And then also like second, third year quarterbacks making jumps, like Bo Nix making a jump this year under Sean Payton. But it also was, I just think the NFL is getting better. The teams are getting better. And sadly, some people are missing their playoff windows. Like, I watched Hard Knocks for the Buffalo Bills before the start of the season. So I was like, it's the Bills' year. Let's go. And for them to not make the Super Bowl again, not make the AFC Championship round again, it just felt like, oh, is Josh Allen's window closing? And then they fire Sean McDermott after the NFL season. Mm-hmm. So it just, and the fact that playoff Lamar, he didn't even make it to the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes towards ACL towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like those players that were kind of the face of the league and people were excited about weren't even in the conversation. So I think that was part of the problem.
Yeah, I think this season lacked a lot of star power because last year it was Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah, Eagles Chiefs. Mm-hmm.
So I felt like everyone was talking about that Super Bowl. Like it was such like it was the heart. It was so popular. I feel like this year I just felt like it wasn't as buzzy, right? Like the star teams weren't making it far into the playoffs. So I just felt like I was less engaged, right? Shelby and I, we literally didn't even, we were traveling the weekend of the Super Bowl because usually we'll go to a party, we'll like watch it with friends, we'll lock in. But we didn't do that this year. I just felt like people were less excited from my perspective. But
I think, and to your point, I thought you were saying people are less excited about the season. I think if you're talking about the Super Bowl, 100%. Like, I think the
yeah, and I
NFL
guess like playoffs,
season,
like the
yeah, I think
playoffs.
the NFL season people were excited about, but the playoffs and the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
100% lack star power.
yeah,
Like, I didn't, I chose not to watch the Super Bowl, not because of lack of star power, because I didn't like the teams in it.
yeah.
But I do think the Super Bowl had lower ratings than last year. So
Mhm.
100%, this was not the result the NFL or league or NBC wanted. These were not the
No,
teams that had star power, excitement. Yeah, no, 100% agree with that.
yeah.
And I think that's a good segue in talking about the Patriots
Mhm.
because as
Go,
Jets
go,
fans,
go.
as New Yorkers, I could never be a Patriots fan. Like,
Never.
I posted on our TikTok various rants with the Patriots, and the fans came for me, and I was like, "You
Come
can't
for me.
come for me. I call me a hater. I don't care."
I
So
know
yeah,
I am a hater.
I
I'm a
am a hater.
hater.
I don't like you. So yeah, I think a lot of America still doesn't like the Patriots. So I think that
Right.
was a factor, especially because they overachieved. This was the second year of Drake May, the first year of Mike Vrabel, who ended up winning Coach of the Year. Drake May was second in MVP voting, which is crazy. And like a lot of people were saying, the Patriots had an easy schedule, which they did. And they
Classic.
didn't, they were beating up on like bad opponents. And then they also, classic, got lucky breaks. They somehow played the Chargers, which was the worst team in the playoffs in the first round, destroyed them. And then they got the Texans, who were like pretty good, but self destructed, of course. Couldn't even watch that game. And then they got to play the Broncos. This was the kicker. Honestly, this was the craziest thing. Then they got to play the Broncos after the Broncos had just beaten the Bills and then found out they had lost their quarterback for the rest of the playoffs. So you're telling
Oh,
me the Patriots get to go to the
luck.
AFC Championship game and not play the starting quarterback of the Broncos? You can't make it up.
And
They
NFL script. NFL
NFL
script.
script. And they missed seeing like Josh Allen. Like they missed, and people are like, well, they don't make the schedule. That's besides the point. You still have to admit you had an easier path.
Hmm.
And that became clear in the Super Bowl when you're blown out. You were not ready to face a good team like that. And I think now Patriots fans are trying like, oh no, no, like they won't admit it. But it's like, yeah, I think the Super Bowl results further shows that y'all were not prepared. You should not have been in that game. But hey, I'm not a hater. I'm just being honest. And yeah, I we're not Patriots people. So if you're a Patriots fan, probably turn this off.
No, no, keep listening, keep listening. Yes. And what did you think of, you kind of mentioned what you thought of the Seahawks, but were you surprised that they made it to the Super Bowl?
No, after that Niners game, and we have family members who are Niners fans, and Laura lives in the Bay, so I was, I guess, voting for the Niners.
Hmm.
But the second I remember, I watched. It was like a Saturday night. I watched like the first play from scrimmage, and it was like a touchdown. I was like, yeah, this game's over. Like I knew. I was like, oh yeah, the Seahawks just have overmatched, um, overmatched the Niners, and then the Niners in the first round of the playoffs somehow beat the Eagles, which further showed like how annoying the Eagles were. Like they should have beat them. But once the Seahawks really destroyed the Niners, it was like, oh, you're the best team in the league. I will say though, the only team to play the Seahawks really close were the Rams. So the fact that the Seahawks did have to play the Rams in the championship game, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like maybe they might lose to them. But no, they still beat the Rams. It was a closer game, but it was still interesting. And I was honestly happy for the Seahawks because it was the second year coach Mike McDonald's, Sam Darnold, right, having his rebirth, his renaissance, and a lot of just good young players like enjoying themselves. Like JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigma, who had just won Offensive Player of the Year, like Kenneth Walker, who ended up winning Super Bowl MVP. Just like players that are like really good. You probably had them on your fantasy team. They don't have the biggest personalities, but doing the work. So I felt like a team, like a female owner, like a GM who'd been there since the Russell
Ooh.
Wilson days. Like it felt like they had all the pieces and were just like playing good defense and believing in themselves and like having fun and doing everything right. So I was like, you know what? Good for them. And honestly, I even though I didn't really care about who won the Super Bowl, I really did because I wanted the
Oh, I
Patriots to
cared.
lose.
I
Like
absolutely cared.
I told myself I didn't care because I think when you care, then it's like, oh, of course the
That's even
Patriots.
more
Yeah, it's
frustrating.
more frustrating. So that's what I was like, eh. But in all honesty, the fact that the Patriots lost was a great thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy that the Seahawks won. I think I live in San Francisco. Our family has Niner fans, so I know they don't like the Seahawks because they're in the same division as the Niners, but I still have an affinity for the Seahawks because of Russell Wilson. So, I don't
Russell,
have
hustle, and
any
bustle.
yeah, so I don't have any animosity towards the Seahawks. So I absolutely was rooting for them. I was hoping they won, especially because the Patriots are enemy number one. So I was very excited that the Patriots lost in a blowout, embarrassing way. And do you remember who you predicted for the Super Bowl at the beginning? At
Bills,
during,
Eagles.
I think I did. I think I did Niners Bills. But those teams made the playoffs.
Honestly, I think Eagles, Bills is what could have been.
Yeah.
And the Eagles somehow lost to a banged up Niners team at
No.
home that then got destroyed by the Seahawks. So I think
No. You hate
that's
to see
probably
it.
the most glaring loss. Like the Eagles should have moved forward, and I think Eagles could have challenged the Seahawks if they were playing at their full potential,
Yeah.
and that could have given like more star power, excitement because people like the Eagles or they love to hate them. I also think the Bills, they had a shootout against the Jaguars, and then they narrowly lost to the Broncos. I don't know if you watched that game, but it was maddening. Like Josh Allen turned the ball over like 4 times, and they
Yeah.
still had a chance to win. So it just showed me, like, imagine if they actually played well. Like Bills, you like gave the
Yeah.
game away. Like it was
I know
just,
it feels like the Bills should have been in like five Super
oh,
Bowls at this point. It really
yeah.
does feel like that.
It's brutal. So I stand by my Eagles Bills pick, and I do think in another world that would have happened if those teams had gotten it together. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
Eagles should not have lost to the Niners, and Bills should not have lost to the Broncos. And if those things didn't happen, then you had the Eagles going to Chicago, and then you had the Bills going to New England, and I think you would have had more competitive games that would have made it close about who was
Mhm.
going to go to the next round.
Yes. So I think, we made some decent predictions, but all those teams made the playoffs, so not too bad, not too
Yeah.
bad. So we have to talk about Bad Bunny, Benito, the Bad Bunny Bowl.
Only
So
reason why I tuned in.
I know
As you
that
said,
was
we were in an airport traveling. I would never travel during the Super Bowl, but this one I did.
yeah, we
And
were not locked in.
we were in a airport lounge and pulled out my iPad so we could watch the Benito Bowl on Peacock. It was
Yes,
great.
because the TVs all around the airport had the Super Bowl on.
But no
So we
sound.
occasionally kind of glanced, but we were not paying much attention to the
No.
game. And also the game was like not that
Mm-mm.
interesting. It was also boring.
It was
But
a
when we
defensive battle. The
yeah,
Patriots had like no points for the first like 2 quarters.
I know. So but once we saw that it was halftime, we were like, okay, we
Time
gotta
to walk
turn.
in.
It's time for us to tune in. How did you get introduced to Bad Bunny? Like what is your relationship with his music?
I was gonna say that it was like, oh, one of my Latina friends in the last few years was playing his music and was like, oh my gosh, I love Bad Bunny, which I think is true. But I also like he's collabed with like Drake and J Lo over the years, so it's like I heard him before then.
Right.
But I think in terms of listening to his TT Me Pregunto album, it was because like one of my friends was like obsessed and was like, you got to listen to Bad Bunny. But I think I forgot, like, oh, I listened to him before. But it really wasn't until one of my friends. And then I know you were a fan. So whenever we meet together, you would play it too.
Yes. So Bad Bunny became like the biggest star in the world when I was in college. So like every party event I went to, Bad Bunny was playing. So I feel like I was like the target demographic, like partying college kids,
I can't.
Bad Bunny's music. So I know a lot of Bad Bunny music. And my first time hearing about him was Cardi B's I Like It because he has a verse on that song. So that's the first time I'd heard of him.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I feel like I heard him featured on stuff, and he's a
Yeah.
very iconic voice.
Yeah. So that was like my first time ever hearing about him, and that was like 2017, I think. Invasion of
I was in
Privacy came
college, yeah.
out. Yeah, so that was my first time hearing him, and then he like just blew up while I was in college. And I have so many friends from college who are Latina and just are obsessed with Bad Bunny, and they would play his music all the time. So I feel like I'm very familiar with his music. I listen to him very regularly. I like a lot of his songs. My thing is that I speak Dora level Spanish, so I don't
Not
know any of
Dora,
the words.
please.
Like, I cannot sing along to any Bad Bunny song,
That's
but I
crazy.
listen to them. I know them. I think they're great. And he's just like fun, easy listening party. Do you have a favorite Bad Bunny song?
What's the song that has like the doves? Not the doves, like the
The
seagulls.
Seagulls getting Calladita.
Callita. Callita's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's one of
Callita's
my
great.
favorites too.
Um,
He didn't play that though.
no, he didn't. Mia with Drake's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Now that you mentioned I Like It, of course that's a classic. I will say though, after the Super Bowl, I was like, I want to listen to that album. What's it with the two chairs, the two lawn chairs?
Debbie me dos fotos. It's
Which I
something
looked
like
up.
that.
It means I should have taken more photos. I was like, I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah,
Um, so I was listening to that on Spotify, and um, I realized, oh, I really like the Ballet in
yeah.
Inevitable song.
Yes, that song is good.
So I think that's my current favorite song. That one's really good.
Yes. And so last year, January 2025, I went to the Canary Islands with my friend Alexis Finland, shout out. She is half Cuban. She's obsessed with Bad Bunny. She's one of my friends who's like absolutely obsessed with him. And his album came out like right during that trip. So the entire time we were listening just to that
I
album.
can't.
So we like just blasted that album the entire time. So yeah, I feel like Bad Bunny reminds me of like specific people and places and reminds me of college. And yeah, I think like he does a great job at being authentic and like just storytelling and just passionately telling the story of Puerto Rico, you know? So, and I love how he's like, I'm only gonna sing in Spanish. Y'all aren't gonna change how I do
Iconic.
music. Yeah. So I just like how he does his own thing and has
Hmm.
made him literally the most popular like artist in the world. So
Crazy. Most stream
yeah,
artists in Spotify like 3 years in a row, something crazy.
it's
Like,
insane. It's insane how popular he is. Yeah. So I am a Bad Bunny fan. I know a lot of his music. I listen to a lot of his music. So I was definitely excited to see how he was going to, do this halftime show. And
hmm
this was highly anticipated. Also, the Super Bowl was in San Francisco Bay Area, and as a San Francisco and as someone who lives here right now, I actually like know friends who were in Bad Bunny's halftime show, which is hilarious. And people have been
crazy.
talking about this online. You know, like the palm trees that were on
Yes.
people. I
So
remember
funny.
trending online like, oh, the palm trees are people. Like you see the people walking on to the field
Please.
were in the little palm tree outfits. So two of my pretty close friends in San Francisco were in the halftime show. I'm planning on catching up with them to hear about their experience. But yeah, I know that the practice schedule was very intense. Like they
I'm
were in Santa
sure.
Clara like 3 to 4 times a week. And as you know, Santa Clara is far from San Francisco. So
Oof.
one of my friends, Julia, she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so much work," and we're literally just standing there. I remember she was like, "I don't know why we need to rehearse so much, because we're just standing palm trees."
Please.
So it was interesting, like hearing my friend's experience. So that was cool, and there were a lot of events throughout the city. Shelby and I was not in SF the Super Bowl weekend, which was funny, but yeah. So I had friends who were in the halftime show, which is super cool. And Shelby, what did you? I feel like this halftime show like kind of broke the internet. Was what people were most excited about. And I know there was some controversy leading up to the halftime show. What can you kind of tell us about that?
Yes. So sadly, everything in our world's becoming political.
I know.
And shout out to the NFL for picking Bad Bunny.
It
I
was a bold
think
choice.
it was a bold choice given that the NFL is like I would probably a conservative organization, right?
Yeah.
And fan base, you could say.
Yes.
And so I think impressive for them to do that, particularly since the president is very active and willing to come for you. But I think the NFL is in a position where they're like the most powerful sports organization in the world, and they also are focused more on like kind of global expansion and like tapping into new audiences. So if anything, picking Bad Bunny was a great business decision, you know? Like they're like, "Oh, we want more Latino and Spanish speaking fans. Like we actually want this halftime show to break records," and it did. So from a business standpoint, great. From a political standpoint, pretty bold, but glad they did
Mhm.
it. I so that's kind of like the business side of it. I think the controversy, of course, stemmed from like politically people thinking Bad Bunny isn't American, which is incorrect because Puerto Ricans are
Please.
Americans.
Yes.
It's the
Yes.
American territory.
Yes.
So I think it's also people are just uninformed,
Yeah.
dealing with misinformation, sadly uneducated,
Yeah.
and just perpetuating stereotypes and perpetuating misinformation.
Right.
I also think Bad Bunny has been very active in the defense of Puerto Rico and protecting it, especially after they had the damage of, was it Hurricane Maria
Right.
years ago, and like the US's lack of response and support. He also has been very active in speaking out against ICE, and that, of course, is a big initiative and big focus of the current administration. So he
Yeah.
was an easy target for them because he had
Absolutely.
been active in speaking out against a lot of their behavior and treatment towards Puerto Ricans, Latinos, etc. And on top of that, he sings and raps only in Spanish. And a lot of the conservative base and Americans think that you have to speak English to be in this country, and they also think that speaking Spanish is threatening.
Yeah.
And so that also was a factor. Not only do you have someone who's been vocal against the current government's policies,
Right.
he is speaking a language that is threatening to them.
Hmm.
And so you had a lot of backlash, and from the president himself, who decided not to go to the Super Bowl, which I think people are probably happy about. Don't come.
Yeah. Stay
Actually,
out.
bye. Like, don't come. And there was also backlash. What organization was it? Turning Point USA or whatever organization like made their own halftime show? I don't know what organization it was, but a conservative
Oh,
organization made like an American friendly halftime show with like Kid Rock and people performing, and it's like,
what? I did not
you did
hear
not
about
hear about this? Yes,
that.
Laura. And people
Like,
were
keeping
like,
peace. That's
you were
crazy.
like, Kid Rock, he's been like accused of like assault and has done all these things. That's your
Toxic.
family friendly, American friendly halftime show performer? Okay. It
Can't.
just further showed like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
conservatives aren't really thinking things through. Like, if anything, Bad Bunny's performance was such a beautiful celebration of unity and community
Yeah.
and culture and being together and
Yeah.
like family friendly compared to what you guys tried to do. And
Yeah.
there was an influencer that went viral because she was in the Super Bowl and she was watching that alternate halftime show, and people were clowning her because it was like, really? Like, you were on your phone watching whatever that halftime show was, and you're not watching Bad Bunny? Like, and
Oh,
then
yikes.
the who are the Paul brothers? What are their names?
Jake and Logan.
Which one's the fighter? Well, whichever one's the fighter
Yeah.
was like, oh, the Bad Bunny performance is un-American, and then his brother was like, I disagree, and so like they were fighting on social about it. Like this
That's so funny.
became like a thing,
Oh yeah.
and for me, especially when you watch it, well, one, like we've already said, Bad Bunny is American.
I know.
Like you can't dispute that. Spanish is a very popular language.
Yeah. Very. I
You
think it's the second most common language in the U.S.
and you learn it in schools. Like I don't know, it just really doesn't make sense to me. Like I it's hard for me to understand
I
the
mean,
backlash.
just white people are just threatened. They're
That's
threatened.
all
Like
it is.
that's all it is.
That's
That's
all
all.
it is. So it's just the backlash is crazy, especially when you see it. I was like, that was such a fun,
Yeah,
vibrant,
it
like
was
culturally
very fun.
rich halftime show. I don't know how you can enjoy it. I just think people are unhappy and they're looking for reasons to hate because there's no way. And honestly, I think we need to. I know Jay-Z helped support and pick the halftime show performers. So I think the fact that it went from like Kendrick to Bad Bunny back
White
to
people are
back,
mad.
I'm kind of
They're mad.
concerned because I feel like there could be some backlash, like going back to the old rock
Course
music.
correcting. I know they
Yeah,
do love to do like an old white
yeah,
rock band every once in a while.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
they've done back
yeah.
to back some very provocative. Well, I don't even think Bad Bunny was provocative. I think Kendrick was provocative. But I think back to back, very like, you could say political
I would say
choices,
yeah, polarizing choices.
polarizing choices.
Yes. I mean, the Kendrick Lamar special, win album of the year, and then perform at the Super Bowl the
Come
next
on.
weekend. I can't. Now
Kendrick
we have
walks
to
so Bad
predict.
Bunny can run.
I know. So I'm like, who's going to win album of the year next year, and who's going to perform at the Super Bowl?
Bruno.
What's
But
what's
Bruno's
your?
already done it.
I know. Yeah. What's your prediction? It could. Bruno is a good guess, but he's literally been to the Super Bowl twice already.
Yeah. And he's already won album of the year. So I don't know if they would give it to him again.
Yeah. Who do you think? Who's your prediction for next year's Super Bowl?
Everyone's talking about Miley Cyrus because Hannah Montana 20th year reunion this year.
That
High
crazy.
School Musical 20, like, again, come on 2026, come on
2026.
2006, 2016, come on years that end in 6. Just I'm telling you, um great time. But I do think people are like on the Miley train right now,
Yeah,
and
that
she
can be
could sing
fun.
like Party in the USA, like she has like some poppy country hits, she could bring out Disney stars. Like I
Yeah.
think that could resonate. And I think they would like a white person probably. um
This is true.
so that's what comes to mind. I don't know, would they do Harry Styles? I Because he has an album coming out this year. Like I'm thinking of people that are about to have a moment.
Yeah, I think like my thing is like I don't see Harry Styles as a halftime
I
Super Bowl
know.
halftime. You need to bring it. Like he's not someone who has a lot of production value. He's just gonna like stand around with a boa. Like I just don't know. And I feel like he doesn't have that many like hit songs.
I know,
I
and
don't
for the
know.
girls,
That's what I'm saying. I'm like
they
he has
have to do
like
like a One
so
Direction
music.
reunion or something.
Yeah, I feel like he'd need to have a lot of guests. Like, I just don't see
Yeah.
that. I think Miley Cyrus is a good guest. I was thinking that. I mean, Ariana Grande, she's about to go on tour. The whole Wicked of it all.
Yes,
I
I
think
guessed
she'll
her
be good.
last year.
Yeah,
I love her, but
she did.
she doesn't have a new album coming out. That was my only hesitation. But
Yeah,
she's going to go on tour. I would love Ariana Grande.
yeah. I think a lot of people would love that. And I was also gonna say Sabrina Carpenter. She's like the
Hmm.
biggest pop star, like kind of on the planet right now, besides Bad Bunny. And I feel like everyone loves her. And I think she's like young and edgy enough that, like middle America wouldn't be upset by that choice, but I think she's like edgy enough. Like she actively calls out Trump. Like her music is a bit provocative. I also could see her being the halftime show because she's like very on the pulse of culture right now. So those are kind of the people I would say.
Yeah, no, I think that's so fair. I
I
think a
know you're a
pop
Bieber fan.
They wouldn't have put Justin Bieber for the Super Bowl, I don't think.
I mean, imagine everyone
I don't
would
think they
lose their
would.
minds. Why
I don't
not?
think they would. Um to my knowledge he doesn't have an album coming out, but also like he unless he has like a big moment this year, he's great, but he's kind of like past the exciting time. Like you kind of want someone who's like of the moment, and
Yeah.
I think Justin Bieber's great, but he's not really having a moment right now. Let's see how Coachella goes.
Yeah. Because I say that because I'm like, oh, he's headlining Coachella. Like,
Yeah.
he has a huge fan base. If he leaned into the nostalgia of it all, I feel like
And if
we were.
you think Harry Styles can't perform, you think Justin Bieber will perform?
I feel like Justin Bieber's more of an interesting character.
Okay,
I feel like I would be more intrigued by a Justin Bieber performance,
interesting.
whereas I'm like, I don't really care to see a Harry Styles halftime
That's
show.
so funny.
So those are kind of people I'm thinking. So I'm intrigued. Well, a lot of white people. I'm trying to think of like
Yeah,
because I feel like we've done a lot of the really big like black artists.
yeah. I
Um,
think to quell some concern, they'll probably go white. If
yeah,
I'm like to your point, I think if it's a pop girl,
So what was your reaction to Bad Bunny's performance? I feel like the internet had a lot to say. Like
I loved it.
what was your favorite part about his performance?
The ending when he said every single American country. I got
Brother
chills.
America.
I posted about this on TikTok. I'm not Latino, but
Yeah,
that gave me chills just
yeah,
hearing him say every single American country, because I think people forget North, South, Central America, and the
yeah,
Caribbean. Like
yeah.
it's
The
all
America.
part the Americas. And like that made me like I felt that in my soul. And so
Yes.
that was my highlight, honestly. I think a second highlight was probably the cameos and seeing Pedro Pascal dance.
Pedro Jessica Alba dancing, Carol G, and you're like, oh my gosh.
I literally remember I told you, I was like, is that Alex Earl? And I was right. It just happened so fast. I was like, what?
Wait, is Alex Earl of Latin heritage? I'm
No,
like,
he had some non-Latin people up there too.
oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Because I remember you mentioned
I
that,
said
and
that really confidently, but I'm pretty sure she's not. Let's see.
yeah, I feel like that seems bizarre to have someone who's not, but
I think he just wanted to. Yeah, no, she's Italian.
random.
That's what I thought. I have a feeling he was like, I want people who are like Latino, but also like celebrities, like people that's like, oh my gosh, cool, you know, like he
Yeah,
dated Kendall Jenner. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he's aware of like celebrity influencer culture too.
of course. Cardi B was also there. Ricky Martin had a
That's
cameo.
great.
Of course, Lady Gaga had a cameo. What did you think of her Latin inspired Die with a Smile?
I was
Just a
shook.
little two step?
I did not see it coming. And I told
No.
you when it happened, I was like, this is so for the culture because the week before at the Grammys, there was that meme when she tapped Bad Bunny's shoulder and he looked shocked. And I was like, not them literally performing for all of America at the Grammys and then all of a sudden being at the halftime show. I was like,
I
y'all
know,
are
right?
like feeding the internet. I was like, it's too much. I thought it was
Crazy.
great. And then I didn't really know their connection, but I looked it up and apparently Bad Bunny has been very inspired by Lady Gaga's music and career and like she's been
Hmm.
very integral in his journey as an artist and that's why he like picked her because a lot of people are like why would he pick like a non-Latino da 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 Lady Gaga seems strange and like he has like a really good relationship with her and has been very inspired and so I thought
Oh,
yeah I thought it was really sweet and I also think Bad Bunny can bring out whoever he wants, you know what I'm saying, like
yeah, he's
if he wants
literally
to
the
bring out Lady Gaga that's a big flex.
artist in the
Lady
world.
Gaga showing up for like a minute to perform at your halftime show.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy, crazy,
What did you
crazy.
think of the show?
Yeah, I was impressed. I think the hype is deserved. I think some people are like, this was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. I was sobbing. I'm not Latino. And I like felt like this was the best performance I've ever seen. Like, I think people are like giving rave reviews. And obviously, I enjoyed it. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
great. I thought it was a beautiful display of Puerto Rico and Latin culture. And I remember, I think the New York Times posted it. They did a thread like explaining all the little like nuggets about Puerto Rican culture in the halftime show. So it felt very authentic. It was really beautiful. I loved all the dancing. Seeing all those women dancing together was so fun. But I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, like this is like the best halftime show ever. A lot of people are saying that. Whereas I feel like I might have liked Kendrick Lamar's better, but also like I'm not
You're
Latina.
black. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, how would you compare it to other people's? Do you think it was one of the best ever? Because that's what the people are saying.
It's tough because I think I'd have to go back and watch the halftime shows. Like I even forgot Lady Gaga had done it. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I remember Katy Perry's Left Shark. I remember Beyonce's like Formation Black Panther Get Up. But like
Yeah.
I have to it's hard right now for me to honestly like go back and
Yeah.
say like what are the best halftime shows because I can't
Right.
remember. I'd actually have to rewatch them.
I know for me, like I loved Shakira and J Lo's halftime show. I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was fantastic. Obviously, I loved Bruno Mars halftime show. I thought Lady Gaga's Beyonce, of course, was just incredible. Those stand out to me. I thought Kendrick Lamar's was really good. And I remember thinking after Bad Bunny's, oh wow, like what a beautiful tribute to Latino culture. But I wasn't like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, my life has changed and this is the best show I've ever seen. So
I think it's for me, it is up there. I did really like it.
yeah,
And I told you, like, that ending felt very powerful for me and moved
yes.
me. So
Yeah.
I kind of felt changed in that sense. Like, yeah, bring us together. We need love. And I
Yeah.
also just thought it was very fun and beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was maybe one of the better production values I've seen at a halftime show.
Yeah.
Like, everything they created, the palm tree dancers, like, the way he would fall and like and then
Yes, the
jump
production
up.
was very
It was
good.
just like a great production. So I think that was honestly some of the best I've seen compared to like the weekend just being dressed in like that mummy garb walking around or like,
Yeah,
love Rihanna, but she didn't really do much. You know what I'm saying? Like I
yeah,
think in terms of production value, that was really high up. Um
yeah. The production value, the storytelling. I agree. I agree
yeah.
with that. Okay, so for next year, Super Bowl 61, who are you predicting as the two teams playing, and who are you predicting as a halftime show performer? You got to give me your final predictions.
Bills over Eagles with Miley Cyrus.
Whoa!
I have to double down on my pick from last year because I do think the Bills clock's ticking. You have a new coach.
Yeah.
Josh, like Mahomes might not be fully back yet from his injury. Like Lamar has a new coach. Like Patriots are gonna have a harder schedule. Bo Nix will be recovered. Like I just feel like the Bills need to capitalize now. You gotta stop waiting. And even though the Eagles are kind of a hot mess, they have a new offensive coordinator and they still have all the pieces. Like, even
Mhm.
though it felt like they were always infighting and couldn't get it together, they still have their Super Bowl foundation. So I think they could finally get it together. And for me, it's like, will people now know how to play the Seahawks and Sam Darnold better? That's my only thing. Like, did the Seahawks kind of luck out this year? And I think people are going to play them tougher. They always play the Super Bowl champs tougher, and it's hard to repeat. So that's why I'm
Mhm.
saying Eagles, Bills, with the Bills shockingly winning it all, their first Super Bowl ever, even though they've been to multiple. And Miley, because like I said, I feel like everyone's buzzing about her. That Hannah Montana trailer for the 20th anniversary just dropped, and everyone's freaking out. Like, I think people predicted her last year. If they want to go for like a pop girly and nostalgia, who also has like country roots, like she checks up a lot of boxes.
Yeah. I think I'm going to agree with you, Shelby, with all those. Check, check, check. Yes.
Oh,
I think I'm going to agree with
wow.
you. I know, because of course I think Ariana and Sabrina could switch in, but I think the momentum of the Hannah Montana tour, I think might get
We
Miley.
honestly should go. I want to go.
Uh, I'm planning it. Like we are. I
Yeah, we should
once
go.
the tour dates drop, I will be there.
Yeah,
I will,
I think that's important.
absolutely. We'll be reviewing on Sister to Watch. It's a date. Yes. Okay. Well, if you enjoyed this episode of Sister to Watch, please make sure you're giving us 5 stars. 5 stars wherever you listen. Rate, download, subscribe. Follow us on social media at Sister to Watch. Leave us a comment. Give us a follow. It makes a huge difference. We really appreciate the love and support.
Yes, thank y'all so much. As Laura said, like, follow, subscribe, all the things, and please give us like recommendations, or if you want to hear from specific things from us, let us know. We want to hear from y'all.
Yes. What should we watch next?
Exactly.
We appreciate you.
Thanks for tuning
Bye.
in. Stay watching.